Antonio Castro here ringside at the Chapparells Community Center in Akron, Ohio, here to present The Next Generation Has Arrived, co-promoted by George Lindberger and Randy Jarvis, and I'm alongside my ringside color commentary, George Filippi. George, great night of action tonight, club fight, but you need a club fight for every high-profile fight. What do you think we can expect out of tonight's card?
Thank you, Antonio. This is George Filippi coming to you live from the Chapparells Community Center. And like the card says, the next generation has arrived. We all have to start somewhere, and every fighter needs to fight in a smoke-infested club show to learn the ropes and to get to the top. Tonight we have a great card for you tonight. The main event, Durrell Richardson, 6-0, Youngstown, Ohio native. He's going to be taking on seasoned veteran Anthony Little, who's 7-3. Both are coming off strong victories. Throughout the course of the show, we also are going to see a lot of professional debuts. These guys have had storied amateur careers. Some are Armed Forces champions, and some you've seen in Tough Mans.
Absolutely, and like you said, this is kind of where you start off. The Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s, the Oscar De La Hoyas, all the great champions that we've seen, they just don't get to start off in some hotshot Las Vegas club and headlining main event shows. They all start off in a similar kind of atmosphere in front of, a crowd of around 600 to 800, maybe 1,000 people, and they really give the fans their money's worth, and the fans have a great appreciation of what they can see at a show like this, and especially you see a lot of highlights in a card like this, and the fighters really build from this. They can grow to appreciate what they've started, how they started their career, and hopefully maintain that and go above and beyond and headline a big show in Atlantic City or Las Vegas, Nevada.
Antonio, you're exactly right. Nobody starts out at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Everybody dreams of that. Fights like this, you're getting a local following for a local fighter. And that's going to build that fighter's fan base. That's going to build that fighter's local publicity. And when that fighter starts to climb the ranks and fights mid-level cards or undercards of HBO and Showtime telecasts, pay-per-views, those fans are going to go with that fighter. It all starts somewhere, and tonight it's starting at Chapparells.
Again, Chapparells Community Center here in lovely Akron, Ohio. The next generation has arrived. A 7-bout card with a very intriguing main event. Like
Absolutely.
You mentioned earlier, Anthony Little, he's an Armed Forces champion. Durrell Richardson is an undefeated United States National Golden Glove champion. So the main event, it may be a small venue here, but the main event has a wide mass appeal audience.
You're talking a Las Vegas fight at a club show arena. And for the $30, $50 the fans are coming to pay here, they're seeing a fight that belongs on ESPN. It's on Midwest Sports TV tonight, and it's also going to show the audience out there two great top-ranked contenders that are coming up. Durrell Richardson, he had a storied amateur career, U.S. national champion in the Golden Gloves, took a couple-year layoff because he couldn't get the fights he needed, but he kept in the gym throughout the whole time. He's coming in tonight 6-0, coming off of a win. Anthony Little, he's won 2 straight, 3 of his last 4. He's under George Lindberger's promotional team and trained under the legendary Doyle Baird. Him and George believe in each other. He's jumped on George's back, and he hopes to get to the top from this.
Absolutely. I was talking to George before the fight, and he was mentioning the fact that Anthony Little was a little mismanaged early in his career. And with his help and his managing background now, George thinks that he can get Anthony the right kind of fights and maybe get him high-profile matches and kind of build his record, because the 3 losses that Anthony Little has are a very strong competition.
They're strong competition, and they're learning experiences. Unfortunately, it does have to go on your record as a loss. Problem with tonight's fight is, for both of these fighters, this is an important test for both of them to take them to the next level. Anthony Little can get past Durrell Richardson. Anthony Little's now going to be mentioned in some regional title shots. He's also going to be ready for a higher level of a fight. And with George Lindberger as his promoter, George has been around the scene for a long time. George has got a fight coming up November 10th against former undisputed heavyweight champion Riddick Bowe. So with that team and the people that they know and the networking they're going to do, Anthony Little, this is an important fight for him. His record's small, but it's a big fight.
Absolutely, and when you talk about Durrell Richardson, he has the storied amateur background, 2002 National Golden Glove champion. and he's undefeated as a pro right now, 6-0, 4 knockouts. Was trained under Jack Lowe, and everybody around these parts knows who Jack Lowe is. Great trainer out of Youngstown, Ohio. Trains Kelly Pavlik right now, the hardest punching middleweight in the entire division. But when you look at Durrell Richardson, you wonder, where's this guy been at for a while? Because he started his career off in 2004, had 6 fights in 2004, and then you didn't hear from him again. He had a little bit of managerial issues. He had a little spat with his trainer, Jack Lowe, but now he's getting back in the ring, and he feels like he's strong, and he feels like he hasn't lost a step. And we'll see tonight as he takes on a very tough Anthony Little in the main event.
Durrell needs to make sure the ring rust is gone when he steps into the ring. According to him in interviews that we've had with him earlier in the day, he's been in the gym these entire 2 years, so hopefully the ring rust isn't as bad as one might think after a 2-year layoff. But Anthony Little's hungry, so I think we got a great main event tonight. Anthony Little's a very disciplined fighter. You know, after serving in the Marine Corps, you can't help but not be disciplined. He's brought that into his boxing game.
Both men in the middle, and again, trying to establish which one's going to be the aggressors. Both men leaning forward and trying to get the judge's impression to go their way. Lead left hand lands for Durrell Richardson, and Anthony Little comes on strong. Nothing really landed sharply there, but did catch the attention of Durrell Richardson.
Anthony Little's definitely being aggressive in this round. He's fast, he's cutting off the ring, and he's showing Durrell Richardson who's bossing there right now.
Nice left hand lands for Anthony Little, stops Durrell Richardson in his tracks, and both men just basically working in the center of the ring, trying to land the better shots against one another. And it'll be interesting to see how this fight unfolds. 6-round main event bout, and from the way this thing is starting out, George, looks to be like it'll be an entertaining scrap.
This is definitely going to be an entertaining scrap, and they're both. You can tell these guys have been around a little bit in the sport because they're feeling each other out. They're not throwing wild punches early on in the fight. They're kind of seeing where each of them sits. They're trying to figure out each other's fight plan. And again, this is definitely going to be an entertaining fight, worth the main event status.
Durrell Richardson feigning a little bit, trying to get Anthony Little to open up a little bit where he can land some power shots with that left hand. But again, both fighters doing a good job staying out of the other one's power punches, staying away from the power punches, and just trying to work off the jab. And it's going to be a technical fight.
Very scientific fight. Both fighters are well-disciplined students of the game, and you're definitely seeing that in the first round here.
As round one nears the end, we'll see if either of the fighters kind of try to open up as this round comes to a close to possibly steal the round, but nothing lands in the final 10 seconds. Very tough round to score in that opening round.
Very tough round to score. It could go either way, and depending on the angle the judges are looking at, could determine who won or lost that round.
Have you?
So 6-round junior middleweight attraction between Anthony Little and Durrell Richardson. Anthony Little again comes in with a record of 7-3 with 1 knockout. Durrell Richardson counters with a record of 6-0 with 4 knockouts. Both extensive amateur backgrounds. And like you said, it's going to be a technical fight. This is why boxing is called the sweet science.
Absolutely. Boxing is like a chess game. It's very scientific. It's very calculating. And you can tell the fighters that are cut above the rest because you can see that technicality in their game.
And you can absolutely see which ones have an amateur background.
Absolutely.
Which ones don't as well, just by the style that they show in the ring. And now both still trying to work off the jab. Anthony Little trying to get that jab in to try to open some things up for his power right hand. Left hand blocked by Durrell Richardson there. And neither boxer, for the most part, has landed any really clean, crisp punches as of yet, George.
No, most punches so far have been partially blocked by the glove or blocked entirely by the glove.
So Durrell Richardson appears to have the speed advantage in this bout, but not by much. Anthony Little is fast himself as he throws a wild right-hand hook that does not land. Durrell Richardson gets a short left hand on the inside to land, but again, nothing landed real solid as both fighters putting up a good defense.
Both fighters are still feeling each other out, but they also got to remember this is only a 6-round fight.
So both in the middle of the ring, lead left hand lands partially for Durrell Richardson. And Richardson, despite having the 2-year layoff, does not appear to have that much ring rust.
No, Richardson's been in the gym for the last 2 years, and you can obviously see that. Some fighters come back from a layoff very out of shape and very rusty, and so far Richardson has not shown that.
Anthony Little given a little warning there by referee in charge Jimmy Villers as he landed a blow to the back of Durrell Richardson while they were in a clinch and after Jimmy Villers had told them to break. Anthony Little looking to counter Durrell Richardson's jab right now, and that appears to be his strategy for this entire second round.
Both fighters appear to be in very good condition in this contest.
Starting to get a little sloppy as both men trying to get on the inside and work a little bit, but the clenching is causing Jimmy Villers to work a little bit.
Anthony Little needs to be careful when he's hitting in that clinch to the back of Durrell Richardson, because that could cost him a point down the road in this fight.
Lead right hand lands partially for Anthony Little, and again they come together and Jimmy Villers is forcing them to break out of the clinch. Lead right hand for Anthony Little does not land, and again they find themselves tied up in the middle of the ring. And again, another tough round to score here, George.
Very tough round.
Neither fighter landing any effective shots on the other, and this is a big chess match.
I have it even right now.
The Cleveland Amateur.
3 of this scheduled 6-round bout about to get underway, and there we go. Round 3 is underway, and Durrell Richardson comes out firing that right-hand jab as he is in a southpaw stance. And both fighters, again, George, just trying to establish something off that jab, but neither fighter has been able to land any hard punches.
Chess match again in round 3 here of this scheduled 6-round fight. Again, somebody's bound to open up here soon.
It's looking as if Anthony Little is looking to counter that jab from Durrell Richardson. It's exactly what we just saw in that brief exchange as well. Anthony Little effectively now being able to counter Durrell Richardson a little bit. We'll see if Durrell Richardson will continue to try to work off that jab, and Anthony Little gets a nice little 1-2 exchange.
Anthony Little.
There. Both fighters getting a little frustrated at the action thus far in the fight.
Both fighters are visibly frustrated at each other, and the referee called them both down.
Durrell Richardson again working off that jab. Anthony Little trying to get on the inside and land some punches on the inside, but again, they come together and hold, and Jimmy Villers has to break the two.
Jimmy's definitely earning his money in this fight.
And Durrell Richardson now circling to his left, trying to get in his power alley so he's able to land that powerful left hand on Anthony Little. Again, the jab from Durrell Richardson and the counter attempt from Anthony Little. We've been seeing it the whole fight. We know what Anthony Little's strategy is.
Very close fight right now. Very hard to call, very hard to determine who's actually getting an advantage, if there is one right now.
And Durrell Richardson He's able to get in 2 jabs, gets in another jab there. But again, neither fighter able to land a real meaningful punch in this round, and it's been like that throughout the first couple of rounds as well.
You're right. Neither fighter has been visibly hurt at this point.
Both fighters in the middle of the ring now, and again, trying to establish something off the jab. Anthony Little throws 3 straight jabs, none of them land. Tries to get Durrell Richardson in the corner. He quickly spins out of the way, back to the center of the ring. Very evenly matched contest tonight.
Very good fight. Very, like you said, very evenly matched. And these guys are still playing chess after 3 rounds.
10-second clap means the 3rd round is almost done, and now there's the bell to finish the 3rd round. But I tell you what, George, we've had 3 rounds, and all 3 rounds could have gone either way on the judges' scorecards.
A lot of it's going to depend on the angles that these judges are seeing it. Each of them are positioned at different places in the ring. Each of them see different things. Where one judge might see a clean shot to the head, another judge might see that as a shot that was blocked or didn't land at all. So sometimes the crowd reacts to a judge's decision, but sometimes the judge sees it differently than you and I do on TV or even from our position.
So it's going to be interesting to see. We're halfway through the fight now.
Have you gotten lost in the shuffle of Social Security?
We've had 3 rounds, and all 3 rounds could have gone either way on the judges' scorecards.
A lot of it's going to depend on the angles that these judges are seeing it. Each of them are positioned at different places in the ring. Each of them see different things. Where one judge might see a clean shot to the head, another judge might see that as a shot that was blocked or didn't land at all. So sometimes the crowd reacts to a judge's decision, but sometimes the judge sees it differently than you and I do on TV or even from our position.
So it's going to be interesting to see. We're halfway through the fight now. Neither fighter has really done much as far as getting the attention of the other fighter. Neither fighter has landed a hard shot to kind of do anything meaningful on the judges' scorecards.
Exactly.
We'll see how the second half of this fight shapes up.
Exactly. We're going to have to see. These judges right now, it's tough to score. There hasn't been a real shot right now that's rocked either fighter, and a lot of it's going to depend on what the judges see and the criteria that they score by.
As round 4 gets underway, Durrell Richardson having some success at landing that lead left hand. Looks like something he's going to have to do more of in this fight if he wants to get some credit on the judges' scorecards. The 4th round of this scheduled 6-rounder, Anthony Little in the all-red trunks, Durrell Richardson in the red trunks, trimmed in platinum silver. Both men in the center of the ring now. Durrell Richardson pawing at that jab. Anthony Little with a short uppercut on the inside. Doesn't land cleanly, though. And again, Jim Villers has to break up the 2 fighters on the inside. Left hand lands by Anthony Little. Wild left hook. Is Anthony Little I think he's just getting a little anxious. I think both fighters are getting anxious at this point, George.
Yeah, both fighters are a little antsy. One of them wants to take control. Question is who's going to take control. But both fighters are getting a little jumpy right now. And you can see that by the way that they're boxing, the clinching that's going on, the pushing off the clinch. Something's about to break here.
And Anthony Little, by the way, George, if all goes well tonight, win, lose, or draw, as long as he doesn't sustain any cuts or any meaningful damage in tonight's fight, he's already got another fight lined up for November 10th in Whippany, New Jersey, against Dennis Sharp, veteran of 22 professional bouts.
That's going to be a good test for Anthony Little. You know, no matter what your record is, stepping in the ring 22 times, you learn various things, and Anthony Little's got 2 good tests ahead of him. He's got to get past Durrell Richardson first.
And Anthony Little was able to land 3 quick left hooks on the inside. He got Durrell Richardson's attention a little bit, got the crowd into it a little bit as well. Nice power left-hand jab there from Anthony Little lands.
Nice jab there by Anthony Little.
Both fighters now appear to be warming up a little bit, trying to establish their power shots now. Again, just when the fighters get in close and look to exchange, they end up holding, and Jimmy Villers is forced to break them up, and get them back to the center of the ring. Another extremely close round in this 6th-round junior middleweight attraction.
It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth.
Clownin' Customs. We're customizing.
Round 5 of the scheduled 6th-round junior middleweight bout. Durrell Richardson undefeated, 6-0, 4 knockouts, but coming off nearly a 2-year layoff. And Anthony Little, 7-3 with 1 knockout, coming off a 4-round unanimous decision over Daniel Neal at the Packard Music Hall in Warren, Ohio. And again, this is a close technical fight. Neither fighter has been able to land the big shot as of yet.
It's been a very calculated chess match. We have 2 rounds left. I wonder if there's going to be a checkmate anytime soon.
This left hand lands to the back of the head of Durrell Richardson, and a nice short right hook on the inside, but the referee rules it a slip, no knockdown, giving credit for Durrell Richardson. Looked like a quick short right hand hook on the inside, though.
Good shot by Durrell Richardson. Woke Anthony Little up a little.
Yes, it did, because he's kind of looking around now and kind of jumping on his toes a little bit right now as well. Anthony Little continuing to work off the jab, something both fighters have done tonight, is throw that jab exclusively.
Absolutely. It's
nice
a very
lead right hand from Anthony Little lands.
Both fighters seem to be getting a little more aggressive, knowing it's the 5th round, possibly being a little frustrated.
Again, both fighters try to land the shots. Again, it could be just the southpaw versus conventional stance having a little bit to do with this fight being so awkward as well.
Absolutely. The southpaw stance is hard to counter. And when you're a southpaw, the right-handed fighter throws you off. Both have an advantage and a disadvantage in the ring.
A short right hand to the body lands for Anthony Little, but again, both fighters tie up on the inside. Jimmy Villers instructing them to work out, but they're not going to listen, and again, he's going to come and have to separate the two. Anthony Little, 3 straight jabs, none of them land, though. Straight right hand lands on the head of Durrell Richardson for Anthony Little, and he's appearing to try to open up a little bit more.
Yes, he is. Anthony Little's definitely the more aggressive fighter in this round.
Again, Jimmy Villers breaks the fighters. A short right hook on the inside for Durrell Richardson. Wild swinging left hook from Anthony Little does not land, and you better be careful with those wild swinging shots. Durrell Richardson is quick enough to counter him on those shots. Round 5 comes to an end, and again, another close round in this main event. Junior middleweight attraction between Youngstown, Ohio's Durrell Richardson and Akron, Ohio's Anthony Little. If the hometown crowd has anything to do with this fight, obviously they're going to be behind their hometown fighter, Anthony Little. And again, both fighters have the amateur experience. Both have a solid amateur background. Durrell Richardson, of course, the 2002 National Golden Glove champion. Anthony Little was a U.S. Armed Forces champion. So both have earned a championship per se in the amateurs.
Have you gotten lost in the shuffle of Social Security disability?
here we go, getting set for the 6th and final round of this junior middleweight attraction. Durrell Richardson in the red trunks, trimmed in platinum. Anthony Little in the all red trunks. Both men in the center of the ring. Durrell Richardson trying to throw that jab, trying to set some power shots up, and he just has not been able to land the power shot all night. It's left hand and right jab, followed by left hand by Richardson, and he lands a solid right hook to the head of Anthony Little, who shakes his head in agreement. Again, both fighters on the inside, and Jimmy Villar's instructing them to work out, which they finally do.
This is going to be the deciding round of the fight. Both fighters have fought well, hard fight to score. The 6th round could be make or break for both fighters.
Anthony Little backing up Durrell Richardson now, but still has not landed a meaningful punch in this entire round. Clearly a round that's going in Durrell Richardson's favor. Left hand by Anthony Little, blocked by Durrell Richardson. And now Anthony Little opens up a little bit and gets a 3-punch combination to the body and to the head of Durrell Richardson.
Anthony Little's starting to run away with this round a little bit, which could have him run away with the fight.
Short right hand on the inside before Jimmy Villars came in and broke them, landed for Anthony Little as well. Again, it seems like each fighter, George, just wants to try to get on the inside and work, but they seem to be smothering themselves when they get inside.
You're exactly right. It's a great observation. Both fighters want to take this to another level this round, and when one comes in, the other one clinches. Sign of fatigue, possibly. Smart boxing, also possibly.
Right. Nothing really still landed. Some wild shots, but nothing landed cleanly. And again, both fighters holding on the inside.
Both fighters are getting a little bit sloppy at the tail end of the 6th round here. Obviously, they're tired from 6 rounds of battle, and they're also trying to land that one punch that could change the course of this fight.
Straight left hand lands by Durrell Richardson. Oh, that's going to be ruled a slip there as Anthony Little's feet got tangled up in that exchange. Clearly a slip. Good call by referee Jim Villars. Final 10 seconds of the final round.
We will see if there's a steal.
Yeah, it's a heated contest. Nice left hand lands by Durrell Richardson near the end of that round, and we'll see if that was enough to pull that round out for Durrell Richardson. But again, this is a very competitive fight between two fighters that really couldn't land the big shot that needed to be landed, and we'll see what the judges were looking for in this fight. But
hard fight to score. We're moments away from the decision.
All right, after they clear out.
So we're closing the show, first of all, on behalf of Terminator Promotions.
motion, no ice. And David B, the party spot for the party after the fight, downtown in Farmington. It is time to go to our scorecard. Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds, we have a split decision. Judge Carter Royal scores this fight 58-56 Richardson. Judge Joe Gonzalez scores this fight 60-54 Little. And Judge Kevin Armstrong scores this fight 58-56 for the winner by split decision, Durrell